there, I'm Deborah Moodie-Lee and I'm the Primary 1-2 teacher here at St Peter's Primary School. It's great that you've joined us this afternoon on a video tour. We would normally have our Meet the Teacher time where you would all get to come into school and come and meet us and find out a little bit more about what your children have been doing. Unfortunately, we're not able to do that right now, so here's our way of introducing ourselves to you. I have a little list here of things I want to talk to you about, some of the things that the children have asked me to mention to you as well. So first of all, I'd like to talk to you a little bit about home learning. So in the last week, your child has come home with a yellow home learning jotter, and inside this jotter is the home learning grid. It gives you some ideas of activities and things that you can do at home with your children, as well as the things we would like you to do at home with your children if possible. We've asked that you return the home learning jotter to school on a Tuesday. That way we can quarantine them in school for the time period that needs to be, and on a Friday we will have a special sharing of home learning and the children will bring them back home again with them on a Friday after school. The other thing your children have come home with recently is this little book. It's called the First Minister's Reading Passport. What we do with this is we encourage the children to make a note of the books that they have been reading at home with you, whether it's a book that they've just been reading by themselves independently, or one that you have read to them or somebody else has read to them. And we're asking them to put the title in, the author's name, decide how many stars they'd like to give the book, whether they liked it or didn't like it. And maybe primary 1s and 2s might draw a little picture just to say what they thought about that story. It's a really nice way to record all the books that they've been reading, and as time goes on it fills up. Believe me, we had 2 completed ones last year from children in P1-2, so it's definitely a challenge there for you. And this links over here to our chart in the classroom, where every time we share a story in school, we write down the title here. And our challenge is obviously to get this whole poster filled up and maybe even go on for a second. So those are a couple of things to do with home learning that have come home. I'm going to move on now to talk about our talk for writing and our phonics. At the moment we're having a big push on revising and just remembering what the primary 2s learnt last year, quickly going over that and moving forward on from there, and then beginning to introduce our primary 1s to the initial sounds that they're going to be learning really, really soon. We've begun our talk for writing, and we're reading a story called Augustus and His Smile. This is what we call a story map. Your children will be able to tell you about the story map and how we use it in school, and how we have actions to help us to retell a story. It means that we get to know stories really, really well. We're able to retell familiar stories and putting in lots and lots of good description. So when the children actually come to do their writing, they've already got a really good bank of ideas and things that they can write about, so they can actually get started on writing straight away. So that's our talk for writing. The other thing we're doing at the moment is a lot of our number work. We're revising all our numbers again. The boys and girls in primary 2 are looking at numbers to 30 and even beyond 30. We've begun writing them. We've begun doing lots of games round about numbers and things as well. And the primary 1s, they're beginning to look at numbers up to 10. They're using numbers in the classroom all the time, and just enjoying getting to know the numbers to begin with. When the children are in primary 1-2, there's still a huge amount of play goes on here. They're learning through play all the time. Sometimes the children don't realise they're learning, but they actually are learning a huge amount day in, day out. So when they come in the morning, they begin with some free flow play while we do our register. And we also do a lunch over here, if you'd like to have a look at this. The children come in the morning and order their lunch choices, so we know when lunchtime comes around what it is they'll be having, and we don't have any confusion when we get to the dining room. So the children come here, they find their own name, and then they put them onto the choice depending on what they've ordered for lunch, so that goes smoothly at lunchtime. Have a little look around the classroom. We have a board over here in the corner which is going to have next steps on. The primary 2 children have just completed some writing assessments, so they have been discussing their next steps and where they want to go with their writing next. So my next job is to type those up and stick them onto the display here. Also, the primary 2s are spending a fair amount of time using the computers because they're loving Some Dog at the moment. So if this is something they're able to do at home, then that's great if it can be facilitated. Our play area changes as and when. At the moment, they've been interested in looking after the baby. We have the den where they just chill out and relax, but sometimes they're in there and they take toys in there and they have a wee chat with each other. We've got our library area and we've got a writing area where children can come along and pick up a pencil, pick up a pen, and do some independent writing whenever they feel like it. So I'm just coming back around this side. Follow me. Thank you. Over here on the wall is something that you'll be starting to hear a lot more about. These are our learning powers at St. Peter's. We have 8 of them. The children in primary 1 are really getting to know these quite quickly because every Thursday we have a small class assembly, and some children are awarded a postcard on one or perhaps a couple of these areas of their learning. I've got 2 here ready to go tomorrow. So 2 children in primary 1, 2 are going to enjoy learning postcards, because I've noticed that throughout the course of the week they've been doing something just a little bit above and beyond, and something that I feel is worthy of a wee bit of a celebration with everybody else. So the 8 different ones, we look at these quite often. We talk about how we can show all these while we're in the classroom or while we're outside playing. This one, the Be Cooperative one, is a big one at the moment. We're really trying hard with that one. And also the Don't Give Up, because now that the children are in school, it's a wee bit more important that they're coming to do their learning jobs, and we really want them to be able to come when they're asked and do a learning job without giving up too quickly, having a little bit more sustained concentration as well. Now we're in primary 1 and 2. So what else is on my list that the children wanted to talk about? PE days. We have PE with Mr. Georgiev on a Tuesday and on a Thursday afternoon. They're all perfectly sorted right now. All their PE kits named, labelled, it's brilliant, all in their bags, and they get changed for PE and get changed after PE without any hassle. They're doing super with that. We'll send you the PE bags home at the end of term so you can give them a wash and then bring them back again at the start of the next term. Talking about personal belongings, can I please remind you about naming other things, coats, even packed lunch boxes and things. We still have a wee bit of a muddle up with people not sure what's their own personal belongings, and if they've got names in, it helps us as teachers to be able to say, this one's yours to take home. I think probably that's about it from me. If you want to get in touch, please do. There's my email for you. At the moment, I'm afraid that's probably the only way we can communicate with each other, although we can have a phone call if necessary. But I'm here. If there's any issues, concerns, worries, please feel free to get in touch. And thank you very much.